Hello everybody, welcome members. So excited for you to join us at the inaugural information session for the Mambourin community. We are super excited. So I'm just going to introduce everybody here tonight. Firstly, from Fraser's Property, we've got Penny Davner and Ilche Mladanovsky. So welcome team. From Quantum United, we have Thurunga, Operations Manager. Thank you, Thurunga. Amy Cross, our Club Manager. Chantal Reid, your Owners Corporation Manager, and Michael Darby, the Founder and Managing Director of Quantum United.
Good evening, everybody. Very excited to be a part of it. Sizzling start, John. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We always love doing these sessions for our communities where we get to share some information about us very quickly, provide an overview of the project. It's always exciting to have, especially with the new project, some representatives of the developer join us and provide a bit of an update from their perspective, which is always great. So thanks to the guys for joining us. And it's time for you guys to ask questions as well. So you'll see in there that you can either put your hand up or you can type in into the chat. We can answer your questions as well. Put a poll up to get started while we wait for a few more people to come through. We had some big registrations, which is fantastic. We've got Ganesh and Haisnan, Ilsa, Caleb, thanks for joining us. We've got Cassandra as well, which is fantastic. Cassandra, Louisa, Prem, Sinu, thank you for joining us. So we'll just move through an overview of what we're going to cover. We'll talk about who we are as a business, just a quick introduction. Hopefully a lot of you will have received a welcome letter. If you haven't, reach out to our office because we must have your wrong address. You will have received a welcome letter which provides a detailed overview of the company and a little bit about the project, but we'll touch on that very quickly. I think John's going to cover off on what is an owners corporation. Some people may not have been a part of one before, so we'll cover off on that. Our role as managers, we'll talk about the upcoming annual general meeting, and we'll talk about the budget for the owners corporation as well. We'll touch on club management. For those who've sort of joined us lately, Amy is the Club Manager at Mambourin and has joined us tonight, and she'll be able to we'll go through a bit of an update at the club, what's been happening, because there's still a lot of works that have been finishing and a lot that's been going on with the ongoing management, even during COVID, which is good. And Penny and Ilche have joined us from Fraser's, which is fantastic, and they'll provide an update for us, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end, so feel free to make an overview of questions. We'll come to those, or you can pop them in the Q&A box and we can look to get to them along the way as well. So about us, it's our team at a recent photo shoot, going for a bit of a different angle there in the staircase. So the company was established back in 2006, so it's over 15 years old now. I'm the founder of the company. We specialise in large-scale residential projects. Prior to starting the business, I actually worked at Sanctuary Lakes for probably about 5 years. And with that experience, started my own business, really specialising in this niche of large-scale projects. You know, in the owners corporation space, the majority of properties are in built form, probably 85, 90%. And these residential greenfield projects, probably only 5 or 10% of the market. So, you know, from us, it's a specialist sort of management approach. There's a massive drive around communication. People are really got a strong interest in what's going on in their community and want to hear what's going on. They've got active involvement in their owners corporation. So through the mobile apps, which you would have seen, and through e-builders, really actively push out information to our community. We're going to educate you as much as we can about what you've bought into, so you fully understand what the project's about. And also community is a big part of it. Very challenging at the moment under these conditions, but we still, you know, we've got a community task force internally who meets every month. So they're always looking at new initiatives about how we can develop and foster community. I'll touch on, we've got a bit of a poll later about a community cookbook. So have a think about that. That's one of our latest initiatives we're looking at, running a community cookbook where we reach out to all the lot owners. Give us your favourite recipe. It might have been handed down over many years. Tell us a little bit about it. Pop us a photo of yourself, ideally, a few sentences about yourself, a photo of the meal. And we think that's a fantastic way to create some connections with each other, especially now. and share our recipes with each other. And we'll have that as an online cookbook. And if there's some large numbers, we can also do some printed copies as well. So keep that in mind. I'm going to run a bit of a poll later and check your interest on that. And we do management and consulting. So management is probably 80% of our business. We do consulting as well for large developers. With these large complex projects, I mean, Penny and Ilcho will tell you, no doubt, there's lots of work that goes into the planning phase. I think we've been working with Fraser in a consulting aspect since late 2017. So, you know, it's 2-3 years of work that goes into the planning of the project. And, you know, we can help in a couple of ways in club design and internal design and club fit out. We provide our thoughts, and which is fantastic to have those welcomed, and any nuances about the owners corporation structure. So it's helpful for us to be involved in the early stages in the project. You know, we've got some considerable experience around these large projects, and, you know, the feedback is that the developers get some great support and ideas and assistance from us during that consultation phase. So the consulting is a big part of our role as well. And we've got projects across all of Victoria. Oh, just a snapshot of our numbers, probably close to 9,000 lots, 12 large communities, got 21 on the team, last count. Jonathan might have got that wrong. I think it's about right, 21 team members. Like I mentioned, over 15 years old, and 31 owners corporations in total under management. Our vision that drives us, sort of the business, is creating vibrant and connected communities. You know, that's what we're all about. That drives our planning each year that we do. We're just going through a planning process at the moment. That drives the teams planning sessions that they have. We've got 3 accountability teams within our business, and team leaders of each, and Chantel is one of those, and Thurunga also. So each team has their own projects and team members, and they have their own annual plan and quarterly plan they work towards in their own meetings, and that's working really well. You can see our mission statement there. The bullet points underneath there, probably, like I mentioned earlier, they're part of one of our key focus, if you like, of our management approach. Active ongoing communication is like I mentioned, a really big part of it. Creating a sense of connection is a big part of it. Again, it just goes to say, when you're managing these large communities, connection in community is a big part of it. Accurate and transparent financial management, you know, should be a given, which it is for us, and to a high standard, but we've come across projects that we have taken over where that's at times not the case. Strategic planning is an exciting initiative we've been doing for probably 3 or 4 years now. We've probably rolled out 3 or 4 strategic plans. And that's where, you know, in more mature states, or at any phase really, we reach out broadly to the whole community, and through a survey, probably 15 or 20 question survey, we get your feedback. Why did you buy into the community? What are you excited about in the community? What do you want to see happening in the community? What's your key focus that you want about living in the estate that you live in? We bring all those together. We have a few working groups to sort of filter through that information. Then goes to the committee. They refine it even further into a draft strategic plan, normally 3-year plans for that community, and then gets tabled and circulated to all the owners, and they vote on that at the annual general meeting. We've found that, and the committee uses that as a framework in their meetings and in their decision making. And we found, you know, like most communities have volunteer people on the committee, and for lots of reasons they need to come and go from year to year sometimes. And the strategic plan it's a great framework for committees to operate in. So they know they've got some confidence when they're doing decision making, what the community wants and where their priorities are. So it really helps them do that and fulfill their fiduciary duty. And governance and compliance is a big one for us. A lot of our projects have design guidelines and extensive rules. So running that compliance process and the governance of the committee, you know, we provide a lot of leadership and advisory around, you know, the extensive legislation and how they're involved and what the impact that has on running committee meetings and running meetings and running the whole owners corporation. So that's why clearly communities engage us, because we've got extensive experience on that legislation and how it applies to large communities. our team bays, look, I just brought this slide up. We're really proud of the bays that we have within the business. We came up with these probably, I think, 5 years ago. And it's essentially for us, the team bays is the DNA of our team, why we show up for work and how we interact with each other, how we interact with that team. It's a big part of a culture, which is really important to us in the business. And these bays are used, they don't just hang up on the wall. Actually, we haven't got them up on the wall, but we are connecting with them, every week. Every Monday, the team's connecting with them. They're choosing one of these bays to focus on for the week, which is important. We check in with the team members, each team member, to have a values alignment session to make sure they are aligned with the values and have a conversation about that. And probably most importantly, in our recruitment phase, our values are front and center to make sure that any new team member who we bring on board is aligned with our values. They can have the skill set for the position they've applied for, but if they aren't aligned with the values of the business and which corresponds to a cultural fit with the team, then they won't be proceeding any further through our process. John, I think I've taken up a good 10 minutes of your time, but I'll hand it over to you.
No worries. Thank you, Michael. And what I will do is I'll hand it over to Thuranga, because that's his part.
Sure.
Over to you, mate.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Thank you very much, Michael. So first we'll look at what is an owner's corporation. So an owner's corporation is created when a plan of subdivision is registered, which has common property, whereby all lot owners become members of the owner's corporation. So common property in Mambourin estate, it is the clubhouse, which is the Club Mambourin, and the land it sits on is common property. So this common property is collectively owned by all the lot owners within the Mambourin plan of subdivision, that is 819190C. So all the members who purchase into the Mambourin community are a part of the club and owns a part of this common property. So an owners corporation, when it's formed, it has a legal structure, a legal framework that it needs to follow. The structure is provided by the Owners Corporation Act of 2006, which is being amended from the 1st of December this year, and which some new rules and amendments will come into the Act. And another one is the Owners Corporation Regulation, which is 2018, and also the Occupational Health and Safety Regulations that the Owners Corporation needs to follow. So members within the Owners Corporation and the Owners Corporation works under this regulation structure, as well as the Owners Corporation provides a structure and oversees the compliance of its Owners Corporation rules. These rules, when an Owners Corporation is created, it's like any other entity, any other business. It can create its rules and it can register its rules at land data, and these rules are enforceable, and lot owners are required to follow the Owners Corporation rules. Touching on that, when you did sign your section 32 contract of sale, on a copy of the Owners Corporation's rules were provided to you within your contract of sale. So when you sign that dotted lines, you agree to adhere to these Owners Corporation rules and the design guidelines which are included in the contract of sale. Next slide, please, Michael. So Owners Corporation was formerly known as a body corporate, which is a popular term that is still used when members do give us a call. Still, they mention the Owners Corporations as a body corporate, but under the Owners Corporation Act, it's changed to an Owners Corporation. So in Victoria, we call it as an Owners Corporation. So every lot owner, as defined by the plan of subdivision, is a member of the Owners Corporation and has a financial and a legal obligation towards the Owners Corporation. So the financial obligation is that a lot owner should or must pay their share of the budgeted cost incurred to administer and maintain the Owners Corporation and its common property. A question that has been recently asked from us is that I have not currently built my house, or I have just a vacant land within the community. Why should I pay the Owners Corporation fees? So as a lot owner as you have purchased into the development or into the project, into the plan of subdivision, from day one that you purchased in, you are responsible to share the financial obligation of the Owners Corporation. So every lot owner is required to pay their share of contribution towards the owners corporation. The other obligation is a legal obligation. The legal obligation is where it comes to as following up, ensuring you comply with the owners corporation rules, which are registered rules, the model rules, which are in the owners corporation regulation, and the act and other legislations relating to the owners corporation. So functions and powers, as I said previously, the Owners Corporation Act provides the Owners Corporation with its functions and powers, and the Owners Corporation, as the Owners Corporation managers, when we assist or when we advise members of the community as well as the committee, we stick within this framework of the Owners Corporation Act. And as I said before, the Owners Corporation must, this is as all the members form a part of the Owners Corporation. So the Owners Corporation must manage and administer common property, repair and maintain common property, which is the clubhouse as well as the land that it sits on. Make sure it is maintained in an acceptable manner. Initiate any insurances. So the Owners Corporation is required to take insurance, especially for Club Mambourin. You need a building insurance, you need public liability insurance, you need for volunteer insurance cover. So all that is a specific insurance. So as the Owners Corporation will assist in getting the proper covers for the Owners Corporation. And the Owners Corporation issues also need to provide Owners Corporation certificate for contract of sale. So this is a very important document. So when you do sell your property or when you purchase a property, this Owners Corporation certificate is required to be requested from the Owners Corporation, or if it's requested, it could be attached to your Section 32. The Owners Corporation certificate provides information about the Owners Corporation and fees. And as I said before as well, as members of the Owners Corporation as well, and the Owners Corporation is required to adhere or comply with the legislation such as the Owners Corporation Act, Owners Corporation Regulation, Registered rules, as well as the model rules.
And just on that, Thurunga, I guess on the legislation, just so owners, if they have an interest, there's a 80 pages of changes that are coming through to the Owners Corporation Act on the 1st of December this year. So our team's been monitoring that. It's been literally going for 3 or 4 years, and due to changes of government, other things that hasn't been finalised, but finally early this year was assented by the Victorian government. So that's going to come in on the 1st of December, and there's some considerable changes that are going to take place. So we'll communicate any of the sort of impact owners. We'll communicate that to the community when it comes closer to the time as well.
Thank you, Michael. Now I'll hand over to Jonathan just to speak about Quantum United Management's roles as the Owners Corporation Manager for the Mambourin community.
Excellent. Thank you, Thurunga. So this is obviously about our management role. There's certain categories that obviously we fulfill within our duties as Quantum United and as your Owners Corporation Management Company. So you can move on to that next slide, Michael, please, business administration. So this is one of the areas, categories that we provide a service on, and that's financial management. So financial management includes the day-to-day accounting and bookkeeping side of things, but also the debits and credits and the accounting high-level reporting around balance sheet, income statements, cash flow forecasts and the like. We also have an accountant that takes care of our higher level reviews of financial records, but our client manager also really well versed in financial and accounting management. In terms of insurance obligations, Thurunga did touch on that. Obviously, it's a requirement under the OC Act that the Owners Corporation must have adequate and sufficient cover in the event of a insurance event that occurs. So ensuring there's appropriate building cover, common property, public liability cover as well in the event of any issues or anything of the like that may come about on the common area, particularly around pools and gymnasiums. You need to have the appropriate coverage. In terms of that, obviously, there's all risk mitigations and management processes and protocols in place that have been developed by the club manager, Amy, which is fantastic to mitigate any of those risks as well. Another item is record keeping for the Owners Corporation Register. So that includes owners' records and all information in regards to the owner, contact details, and also their accounts and side of things. There's a long list in the legislation itself. Owners Corporation Certificate, so that forms part of your Section 32. So that is where your solicitor or conveyancer will request this particular certificate just to provide further information around the Owners Corporation to potential vendors, or purchasers. And VCAT recovery is the last one on that list. So obviously, as part of the funds management of your Owners Corporation, of your funds that are held in trust, obviously we need to ensure that there's sufficient cash flow. So as the lot owners build out and each stage builds out, obviously there's new owners that come along. We need to educate them obviously on the community and how the Owners Corporation operates. But also we need to manage the finances. So we need to issue out fee notices, final fee notices, and obviously go through a long process that we've developed over time that gives sufficient owners appropriate time. I apologise for that. That's my son in the background. So that's that section, Michael. I might get you to move on to the next. Thank you. Governance and compliance. So Michael did touch on this. So this governance is obviously, there's a committee of operation, there's a committee in charge, and they do have a fiduciary duty along with the management company to act in the best interests of the community. They do have a fiduciary duty and a legal duty to do that. And in terms of that, also annual general meetings as well. So with annual general meetings, reporting through to members. So there's a number of compliance items and regulations that the Owners Corporation must follow in terms of annual general meetings, whether it be notice periods, certain agenda items and certain topics and matters must be addressed at the annual general meeting to ensure that it's compliant. And obviously we greatly assist in all of that adherence and that side of things. The last one there is OC rule compliance. So obviously, being part of an Owners Corporation, there are registered rules and also design guidelines as well that we assist obviously in terms of ensuring that rules are complied with, and that's all in the best interest of the community to protect the overall estate's presentation predominantly and just how it's maintained and managed. Protect your investment. Michael, next slide. Community is the next one. So obviously tonight we're holding an education and information session, which we really value and we know a lot of the community members value. This is also recorded in case we haven't advised. So we do circulate this out to the community for those members that can't attend, just so they can still watch the video and get some value from it. And we also like to do some webinars and videos throughout the year, and also we have our own events task force within Quantum as well, that we manage events for all the communities that we look after, and we think of creative and new ways. Obviously with COVID we've had to be super creative and still try to keep the events engaging for members. So it was a good testing ground for us to really try some digital events, and hopefully we can roll out a few for the Mambourin community.
Jono, can I launch my cookbook poll here?
Of course you can.
Right to the community. I think this is a great opportunity to pop in a bit of another poll to get some contribution. I think, again, in our office internally, we have cultural lunches. There's a lot of different cultures in our team, and we're really excited and enjoy those. And equally, in all of our communities, there's a lot of different cultures and there's always different interests, and food brings people together, and I think Melbourne does that really well. So I think we can do the same at our communities by offering a cookbook environment where people can share and bring their recipes together. And we're getting up to 70% who think that's a good idea. So that's I'm pleased with that.
Not everyone likes to cook, Michael, but there are some that are, the ones that do are passionate about it, aren't they? The only thing is, I was telling the team earlier that usually the best recipe, they don't like to share, do they? So,
Yeah.
but Mambourin, make sure you share your best recipe, and
it's only amongst your close neighbours. It won't go outside of the community, I'm sure. So 70% are keen, 30% not sure. So I'm happy with that. It's good outcome. Thanks for your input on that one, Jonathan. Sorry.
That's all right, no problem. So yeah, and obviously, you know, with all the events and engagement, we really like to promote that sense of connection and engagement with community. Obviously, it all links into well-being, doesn't it? So to be connected with your neighbours and your community, and whether that be volunteering or being a part of events is really good for the mind and good for the well-being. Next slide, Michael, or is that the final slide? No, that's it.
Communication, I think.
Communication. Okay, yep. Work your way down.
There we go.
All right, yeah. So communication, yeah, as we've said, information sessions are a great way to communicate to lot owners. We also, you know, really like to put out some valuable content for the community. We really try to make sure it's valuable content too. So we don't like to just put out information for the sake of putting it out. We'd like to really, you know, and we internally the teams, we really do analyze our e-bulletins and have a lot of reviews from different team members of different expertise, just to make sure that we are communicating a good message and providing some valuable content out there for the community. So the next one there is the community app, which was there, Michael.
Oh, sorry.
Get back. So the community app, which everyone's familiar with, I hope. If you haven't got it, obviously just contact the team at Quantum, and we'll be able to set you up and get you registered. Obviously, we like to put out surveys, as Michael's been doing with the polls tonight, but we have a bit more sophisticated surveys that go out to the whole communities. And really gives us some good information and data as to what the community feels important for them. And obviously SMS is pretty straightforward with our communication. Next slide, Michael. Upcoming AGM, so I'll hand it over to Thuranga because he can talk about the annual general meeting coming up.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Michael, can we go on to the next slide, please? So the AGM is scheduled for Thursday, 23rd September 2021. Which is in a couple of weeks' time. The AGM documents were sent out today, and some members who have requested documentation to be received via email would have received them today, but the others will receive via post in the next few days. So the AGM is, as I said, on the 23rd September at 6 p.m. in a similar format via Zoom, and members must register at least 24 hours in advance using the link or the QR code provided in the AGM notice. So in the AGM document pack, there's a document that says the AGM notice. You will find a link as well as a QR code. So you can just register through that and then attend the meeting accordingly.
Thuranga, maybe just a reminder when you're working through that, there's a form within the app. If you prefer to receive communications via email, you can just fill in the form in the app and submit that to our office, and we can change your communication for fee notices and for AGM notice as well. You have the option to receive those via email. I notice, excuse me, we've got a lot of emails in our database, not the majority of owners, but only a small amount are receiving correspondence via email, but we do need you to proactively authorise us to send you that communication via email. So you're welcome to head over to the app, and there's a form there you can fill in, and we can change your default avenue to be utilised via email instead of the post.
Thank you, Michael. And just on touching on that as well, if members who are yet to receive the postal AGM pack, if you would like to receive a soft copy, please reach out to us by email. We can send a copy to you, or we have uploaded this AGM documents onto the Mambourin community app under the documents section. You can download these documents as well from there. So some basic housekeeping for the AGM. Like today, if members do have any questions, first of all, we do ask members to sign in about 5 to 10 minutes before the meeting, so that if there's any issues with your Zoom meeting platform, you can get ready, and when the meeting starts at 6 o'clock, you can jump in straight away. While accessing the Zoom, if you do have any questions during the night, you are welcome to put in the questions in the Q&A chat box that is provided on your screen. You can see there is a Q&A chat box on your screen as well. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A chat box. What we will do is during the night, if the question is relating to a specific agenda item, then we will discuss it under that agenda item. But if it is not relating to agenda item, and if it's a general question, they'll be discussed at the end of the meeting under general business. So this will ensure that the meeting is run onto agenda and on time. And also, if you do have a question and if you like to say the question out loud in live, you can just hit the raise hand button. What we will do is we'll go around members who have raised their hands and bring them via audio, and then you can relay your questions live to the panel, and we will be very happy to assist you even tonight as well. If you do have any questions, please hit the raise hand button and we'll bring you live to ask your questions. And the meeting protocol, Michael, if you can go into the next slide, please.
Yep.
So these are the two buttons that you're looking for. Just one step back, Michael, please. Thank you. So these are the two buttons that you're looking for on your screen, at the bottom, right at the bottom of your screen. You should find these two. Thank you, Michael. Next, please. So the voting protocol. So we have got a small view into how the polls work. Michael has already put up 2 polls this afternoon. So the polls, each motion in the AGM will have a poll that will be put up for members to vote on. So the members have 3 options to vote on. That each motion will have, you can vote for the motion, against the motion, or abstain from voting. So in order for a motion to be carried, there should be a majority of 4 votes for the motion to be carried. So we require members before you attend the meeting AGM to go through the motions that are in there. And those motions are in there because they're required by the Owners Corporation Act to have that motions and passed by members of the Owners Corporation at the AGM. And also members who have proxies. If a member cannot attend the AGM, you can provide your proxy to another lot owner or someone whom you know to attend on behalf of you. And members who have proxies also, if you're holding more proxies, say for example, a lot owner or whom you know has provided you with a proxy form, not only one but couple of proxy forms for the meeting, you can attend the meeting. Your vote, you'll be cast your personal vote under your lot when the poll pops up. And if you do have proxies that you're holding, please put the proxy votes in the chat with your lot number as well as the motion number, so that we can add that also to the final result of the motion.
Yeah, but we'll touch on that again at the AGM itself, Thurunga, of course.
Definitely, yes. I know it's too much information to remember tonight. In the AGM, we will definitely let you know first thing. Thanks very much, Michael. The next slide, please. And one more thing as well. The AGM documents that were sent across to you, as I said, there's a cover letter for you, as well as notice of AGM, where you'll find the meeting link and the QR code. You will have the AGM agenda there. There's about 12 to 15 agenda items, as from my memory. You'll have the financial reports as at 31st of March 2021, and the budget for 2021-2022, that is 1st of April 2021 to 31st of March 2022. That's the budget period. That's your this next financial year. And also the proxy form, where you can, if you're not attending, you can fill it up and pass it on to another lot owner or a member that you know who can attend on behalf of you. Thank you very much, Michael. Let's go on to the next slide. So committees. So a committee, if I can go on to the next slide as well, Michael. Thank you. A committee is elected at the AGM. It's a very integral part of the Owners Corporation, and the Owners Corporation Act requires an Owners Corporation to have at least 3 to 12 members in the Owners Corporation Committee. So as I said, at every AGM, Owners Corporation Committee is elected. If you're elected in this committee, at the next AGM, you will need to step down and you can be re-elected, or new members can be elected to the committee. It's a requirement of the Owners Corporation Act that the members, there's a committee within the Owners Corporation. So the members who join the Owners Corporation Committee are required to attend the scheduled committee meetings. If there is non-attendance, you can provide, if you're unable to attend, you can provide a proxy form as well on behalf to another committee member, then who can vote on your behalf and make decisions on behalf of the Owners Corporation. And as a committee member, you'll be responsible for making decisions on behalf of all the lots. So at the AGM, as I said, you'll be elected as a committee member, so to represent the entire or to represent all the lot owners within the Owners Corporation, and you will be making decisions on behalf of the Owners Corporation. So some of the duties and responsibilities are, Michael, can I go on the next slide, please? So responsibilities and duties of an Owners Corporation Committee member must act honestly and in good faith in performance of their tasks and duties, must exercise due care and diligence when performing their tasks and duties, and also declare of conflict of interest. That means lot owners or the committee members must not make improper use of their position to gain advantage directly or indirectly for themselves or someone else. So it always, at a committee meeting, always we will request the committee members to declare any interest of a conflict of interest for the agenda items that are going to be discussed. And when the committee is formed, we'll provide you further information and further understanding how a committee operates for you. As a committee member, you are required to understand the Owners Corporation rules, the model rules, design guidelines. So these are the basic structure that the Owners Corporation needs to follow, a committee needs to follow in order to get a wide understanding. What is the purpose of the Owners Corporation? Why do you operate? What makes the Owners Corporation tick? And we make sure that you are in line with what your actions, and your actions are in line with those guidelines and rules.
Yeah. So people can, they can have comfort that we're all across those pieces of legislation and can support them and guide them as committee members. So you don't have to be totally across them if you don't choose to be. You're welcome to read them, and it makes entertaining reading. If a glass of wine or two perhaps is required, but otherwise the team is well versed in all the legislation. We can guide you and answer any questions during the committee meetings as well. Thanks
very much, Michael. And last, one more thing is that the committee members should not be in arrears. So if a committee member is in arrears, that committee member will be requested to stand down until the arrears is paid in full, and then join the committee back. But each time, even at the committee, even at the AGM, if you've been nominated to be on the committee, you should not have, or the lot owner should not have any arrears outstanding towards the Owners Corporation. Thank you very much, Michael. I'll hand this over to you, Michael, to discuss about the budget, the fee.
Sure. Yeah. So we thought we'd share some information about the budget. Again, we'll touch on it more at the AGM also. And we've done some 5-year forecasting, working with the developer a number of years ago. Things keep shifting, of course. COVID's making things challenging. The anticipated operational cost for this current financial year is circa $700,000 for this year, and moving into next financial year, when the club's fully operational during that financial year, that's likely probably to go up to $850,000 thereabouts. The lot owner contribution is $371,000 for this financial year, and that's quite normal in these large master plan communities that are 3, 5, 7-year projects before the full development is sold. I think there's around about 1,200 lots will be the full development of the project. Clearly at that point, there'll be enough revenue to fund the operation of your club through all the lot owners. But in the meantime, Fraser's as the developer, they make up a considerable shortfall to keep that club operational. So Fraser will contribute there about $326,000 towards the operation of the club, towards the operation of the owners' corporation. There's clearly not enough funds to operate the club at this point. And once more owners, I mean, the fees would have to go up considerably, of course, to run the club on owners' fees, but understandably, the developer's aware of that project, spans and how long that takes, and pleasingly they meet the contribution till the revenue from the lot owners can meet the operational costs. So that's just some broad numbers in relation to the budget. The fees, $950 a year. Currently 430 lots are registered. Again, approximately 1,200 in full development. But I know we have been having developer meetings with Fraser's weekly leading up to the club, and now transitioned to less frequently, probably fortnightly, I think they are, or monthly. And we're having lots of conversations around the master plan. No doubt Ilche and or Penny will give you a bit of an update on some final figures on the master plan. You know, these large projects are staged plans of subdivision, which provides some flexibility, which of course you need when the projects are 5-8 years long. You need flexibility in how the project evolves, and that's what a staged master plan is. It gets created in stages as the project grows. So, would you like me to talk to this one, Thurunga? I think I am. So, Quantum CM Solutions is the organisation operating the club, and AIM is with us, obviously, as well, is the club manager. We've got Bailey and Lorenzo eagerly waiting for full operation of the club so they can get stuck in there and serving you as the residents as well. Bailey's the assistant manager and Lorenzo's a casual who'll be working at the club also. Amy, do you want to touch on what's going on? Let's just go live and talk about what's going on currently in the club. You know, there's probably some thoughts. Clearly, the club's closed. Why don't we just all stay at home and wait for things to open up? But tell us, Amy, what goes on while the club's closed? There's a lot. You and I know that, but the residents don't know what's going on. So let's have a chat about that.
Sure. So Thurunga touched on insurances and compliance and all of that before, all that fun stuff. So what we're working on in the background is making sure that we can run a compliant club. So that's, you know, things like risk assessments and water quality management plans, you know, procedures and checklists. So there's a lot still being developed behind the scenes, and also our systems as well to support that. Yeah. We've been locking in a lot of services and our maintenance schedule as well. So things like pest control, pool and plant equipment, heating, cooling, fire equipment, essential services and stuff like that. So consistently, we've got people coming out providing quotes, trying to get that all organised. So also day to day, you know, we're cleaning the pool, protecting the asset there. We're testing the water, vacuuming, scrubbing, emptying skimmer boxes. So all that fun stuff. You probably, as you're driving past, you might see us out there with a brush brushing the pool.
Yeah, and especially in this stage of the project, Amy, I'm sure you've discovered that, you know, it's pretty new area of the suburb, and there can be a lot of dust. And as residents, no doubt residents who are living there will experience, especially today, last couple of days, very windy. I think I saw something on the community Facebook page today. That creates a lot of dust, and unfortunately that gets in the pool. There's a cover in place which does a great job. There's still some cleaning up to be done though, isn't there, as well, Amy?
Yeah, so the cover is great, and it's a really great energy saver as well for the pool. It reduces our energy costs there. So we've been trying to keep it on as much as possible, but it definitely does stop a lot of dust coming in, but some still gets in. So we're still in there cleaning and vacuuming as well. Speaking of dust too, with the louvers now, so they are now operational, and we're opening and closing them every day so dust doesn't settle on them, and yeah, it allows for smoother operation and doesn't allow for like a dust to settle and then drop in the pool as well. So there's things like that that we're doing just to try and protect those assets.
So Amy, sorry, just popping in there for a minute. So cover that very quickly. So louvers. Now I
Yeah.
anticipate that's the veranda section over the pool. Is that right?
Yeah, sorry, I speak like, everyone should know. So, yeah, no, the louvers are the roof. So you can open and close those louvers. So we can chase the sun a little bit. It's going to be good over the summer. So we can open it up and make that space quite light. I have opened it up and it does make a big difference. So, which will be good. And then, we're obviously doing filter maintenance in our plant room as well. So making sure that just keeps ticking over, working with contractors every day. We've picked up on a few defects just from usage, movement, things like that. So we've just been flagging that and getting those fixed as well. And some other things, some exciting things that have happened also is the new permanent furniture has arrived and been assembled. So you may have noticed when you walk past or driven past that there's all nice new fancy furniture in the function room. And we've also got some furniture for Cool Deck that we obviously aren't putting out now, but will be available once we reopen. There's a full set of dumbbells now in the gym.
Yeah.
Which is great. And
so we provided some photos, I think, didn't we, Amy, in the most recent e-bulletin that went out, I think this morning, was it yesterday? It's just gone out, so it's got some photos in there of the new dumbbells and some of the furniture as well, which has been great.
And also the multi-court got resurfaced as well. It's looking really crisp, I think the word was that I got from Fraser's. So it's looking really inviting now. So it'll be ready to go when we reopen. So that's a bit of a rundown about what's been going on behind the scenes. So definitely not a dull moment. We're always doing something.
And we've got, there's a question I think that's just come through about a squat rack and barbell. And my understanding, Amy, is that there is a fixed machinery, I don't know the names of them, that you can use, you can do squatting in. Free barbells, they take up space and they can become a bit of a safety issue as well, that I understand in gyms. And that's why most gyms are moving now to the more fixed equipment where you can still do the squatting, but it's within the frame of a machine. Is that right?
Yeah. So, and we anticipate that there'll be a few users in that gym, so trying to free up the floor space as well. So, yeah.
And I was just going to say, Michael, it's always an option the committee can explore in terms of the live fitness arrangement as well. There is quite a lot of space in the gym.
Yeah.
And I do definitely hear in relation to that request, because I like a good squat rack as well. So. Smith machine sometimes doesn't cut it. So
okay, you heard it from the man himself. Cassandra's asked about the resurfacing required, and Amy, we were chatting about that last week. I think the developer just wasn't happy with the finished standard of the surface, so they got drag the contractor back, and they've had to redo it all. Is that the
just because of the time of the year, because obviously we're trying to rush opening and but then COVID sort of pushed us back a little bit there, but that's okay. They laid it sort of towards the cooler months, which didn't help with the finish. So as soon as we got some good weather, they resurfaced it, which now looks looks really good without the streaks.
Yeah. And look, what else have we got here to cover off on? So club maintenance and operations, I guess we've touched on that. Yep. Where we finalised a number of contractors leading up to club opening. There's still a couple of where we're finding, Amy, that I think we're pretty much there as far as settling with the key contractors that we need. We had a lot of inductions at the start. That was a bit of a challenge with COVID, but we worked through that. Putting on the spot, how many we got, Amy? We've got about 80 or maybe 100.
Yeah, we had close to 100 come through. And then also, I know that I've also been getting a lot of people doing their online inductions while they're at home, which is great. So what we've been doing is just processing those ones that are coming through, so that when it's available to book your face-to-face component of the induction, then it should just be a smooth process and we'll have your cards ready for you. Yeah.
So Hasnan's got a question about the pool cover. Is there a plan to cover the pool during windy seasons? It's covered every night, Hassan. The guys drag it on and drag it off every single day. So rest assured, it's got that done. And what's the temperature, Amy, we're getting the pool on average?
Yeah, so for the lap pool, it's generally around 28. For the play pool, we're looking between 29 and 30. For the spa, we're looking at 35. At the moment, we've just got the temperatures reduced just to try to save on a little bit of energy at the moment, but it will only need a day to bring it back up.
Yeah, very good. And I won't put you on the spot and get us to give us a detailed overview of the underground heating system. We can leave that for Ilche towards the end. He's a big fan of that.
We have had the geothermal guys out the last couple of days tweaking and working on the system, so that's been good.
Yeah, and safety and security. We've got security in place in the project. There'll be different hours as we get operations. So things are we're pivoting clearly as we're managing during these the clubs being open and closed. Community events and activities. We can't wait to do that. Of course, great facility for it. Perfect facility. We hope to be able to have the numbers to be able to have events inside the club. I know Fraser planned some events they couldn't have out in the park and elsewhere. So we're no doubt all doing the best that we can. I'm sure the community appreciates that. Look out for our community cookbook. That's what we're doing at the moment. And the word on the street, Jono, is there could well be a kids disco, online disco that's hitting the community. But
it's happening right now, actually.
Okay.
It's kids disco. Yeah. That's where Kylie's at.
Yeah. So we'll look to provide for the Mambourin community. Oh, if it hasn't already gone out already. So we'll do as much as we can there. And there's the team. We've got Amy, Bailey, you would have seen at the club, and Lorenzo's a recent casual who's done a couple of shifts. He's really keen to get started as well. I'm sure you would have all seen the team in the induction video. Did a marvellous job, Amy. Well done. And time for as I get delivered some dinner. Thank you. A development update from Ilche and Penny. Thank you so much, guys. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, so obviously the people that actually developed it and brought it all together to create such an amazing facility and did all the planning for many, many years and all the very hard work in terms of the construction and project management. Obviously, we get to, and the community members get to benefit from it, but there's a lot of years and years of preparation to get it to this point, and obviously many years ahead for Ilche and Penny. So we welcome them and thank them for their attendance, and we'll pass it on to, is it Ilche? Are you presenting tonight, mate?
Yeah, it'll be me.
Sounds good.
I'll just share my screen quickly.
Don't spend too long on the geothermal heating system, Ilche.
No, wait. Has that come up?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No?
Maybe just while Ilche is bringing up his screen, there's a couple of questions that are coming up several times about the shops in the town centre and the school. So I know residents are really keen to hear about those two items. So I can give you a quick update on both of those and then hand back to Ilche. So our retail stage 1 is currently in design and planning with council. So we are looking at delivering at the commencement of that late next year and opening in late 2023 or early 2024. So stage 1 is likely to include a major supermarket and about 20 specialty stores. The private school, we are in discussions with some potential providers on the school currently. So we're looking to make an announcement on the school probably early next year. So that's just a brief update, and then I'll hand back to Ilche to give you more details.
Thanks, Pen. Good evening, everyone. So look, I won't waste too much time, but what I'll do is I'll just give a quick rundown on what we're doing out there and where we're at and what's upcoming in terms of construction works and new stage releases, and then we'll touch on briefly sort of our town centre and all the work we've been doing on that one. So look, just to provide some context and quick overview, Mambourin estate is about 110 hectares. We're looking at about 1,200 lot yield in its completion, which in turn will probably produce around about
3,000 odd residents within our estate. We've got about 430 lots completed. There's about 230 under construction, and the project timeline is anticipated completion by 2026. There's about 7 odd hectares of open space. We've got the 1 hectare district park, which obviously everyone would note that recently opened. We've got quite a large functioning wetland, which is about 4.4 hectares. We have our exclusive Mambourin club, and plenty of walking and cycling paths throughout. In terms of the town centre, just quickly, there's anticipated to be a shopping centre around about 25,000 square metres of retail space. There'll be council community facility, which will produce a kindergarten, maternal child health clinics, library and performing arts. There'll be a range of different local businesses within the mixed use districts. And we've also got the private P to 12 non-government school, and obviously our future train station. In terms of status of the development, so we all know precinct 1 was completed with just under 300 odd lots. Precinct 2, stages 6, 7 and 8 was around about 130 odd lots. That's been completed. And at the moment we are working on the northwest corner of our estate, which is stages 9, 10 and 11. That's around about 145 lots that are currently under construction. So we're around about halfway through the works with our sewer. We've commenced drainage and we're about to start our water main construction. So we're well and truly on track, and we're looking to have those stages finished up by around about July next year. Precinct 3 is the balance of the residential stage as we head sort of northeast to the top end of Greens Road. And as it stands now, our stage 15 has recently commenced construction. So that's around about 47 lots. We just started doing some earthworks there, and we're going to get stuck into the sewer relatively soon. And on the back of that is our stage 16, which is about 39 lots, I believe. And we've just started stripping and early earthworks on that stage as well. So those 2 stages are targeted to be completed around about this time next year. And then we look at the balance of the residential estate, which is as we head sort of north, and that's that'll be constructed over the next handful of years. And as I mentioned earlier, looking at a completion around about 2026. We are working on our wetland. You guys would have noticed a little bit of activity out there. Unfortunately, the restrictions has sort of impacted finalising the planting. So we're just working with numbers, or limited numbers out on site, but the guys are still working. They're just doing a bit of concrete work, and hopefully get stuck into the planting pretty soon. And they anticipate to have that resolved hopefully by mid-October, I believe. In terms of upcoming work, so we've been working quite a bit on our town centre and really focusing to get that activated and get moving with council. So the first section is our intersection and the associated pad sites. So we've received a planning permit, and we are well and truly into our detailed design for that section. And our team's progressed with the construction plans, and the plans are with council for some comments and reviews. The adjoining pad sites will offer a range of commercial outcomes such as childcare, fuel, food and beverage outlets. So we've progressed those negotiations with respective developers on that front. And in terms of construction, we are aiming to get into the ground hopefully by the end of this year for that intersection. The next bit of work is a major infrastructure piece, which you'd see on my screen, is basically the crossroads within our town centre. We've got a planning application lodged for that large piece of work, and that'll basically facilitate the balance of Delarma Boulevard, which will provide connection from Black Forest Road right through our estate and up to Greens Road, and also provide the east-west road connection, which is the main sort of the main connection point to the heart of the town centre. So we've progressed that planning application. Hopefully by middle of next year, we can get into construction and build the balance of those roads. These roads are key because they facilitate essentially activating the balance of the town centre in terms of serviceability and activating any of those adjoining sort of quadrant sites. Just quickly on the retail, Penny touched on it earlier, but our retail development team are working through the master plan in collaboration with the council. So our stage 1 retail facilities will consist around about 7,000 to 7,500 square metres of retail space. So there'll be an anchor supermarket tenant along with small specialty-based stores such as grocers, medical facilities, and a range of other food and beverage offerings. So we'll hopefully have our designs approved and ready for construction by this time next year, and looking at opening that facility by that last quarter of 2023. The other main part to our town centre is the community centre. So we work quite closely with council on the delivery of the community centre. The intended outcomes is in the form of kindergarten, maternal health, library, performing arts. So council are currently preparing their business case, which will facilitate budget approval. So that'll allow them to commence their master planning and design phase. So look, the centre will be delivered in 2 stages. So we're working with council to facilitate sort of early delivery, or as early as possible, to keep in line with our delivery timeframes with the surrounding retail, etc. Again, just on the school side, as Penny mentioned, we are in conversations with a number of different operators. So we're going to be progressing that as much as we can. The delays with COVID, unfortunately, are what they are, but we're actively involved with a number of operators at the moment. So hopefully we can have a result on that one relatively soon, and an announcement for our community. And the balance of the site will consist of some further mixed use and also medium density housing. So we're master planning our first precinct of the 3 medium density precincts, and hopefully we can have a planning application going within the next month to 6 weeks. These precincts will offer a range of housing diversity and products. So whilst we still maintain our built form quality, the mixed use commercial, these precincts are strategically located around the town centre and adjoining the train station and directly opposite the retail facilities. So these particular parcels, no use has been proposed just yet, and they're all always subject to market conditions, demand and catchment maturity. So we'll be working closely with different operators as we progress the estate and provide information as it comes through. So that's an overview, bit of a brain dump. A lot of information, I know. So hand it back to you guys. Any questions, comments?
Fantastic, Ilche.
There's one question that I know has come up a couple of times about Google Maps. So just to give you an update on the Google Maps previously used Melway's data to update, and Melway's kind of died when the internet came in. So they have now commenced the ability for registered providers to update their map systems. So we are registering phrases with Google Maps, and we should be able to update all of the registered streets and houses very, very soon. So we're working on that one to get a solution for residents.
Yeah. Fantastic. Appreciate that. Look, we've had 20 odd questions come through. We've managed to fire off some answers during the session and addressed most of those. We've talked about the retail and the commercial areas. That's covered off. School providers not known yet. I think you mentioned that. The mixed use lot owners be part of the owners corporation. Medium density areas will be part of them, but the commercial won't be part of them.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So I think we've addressed them all, and appreciate that, Ilche. Great update. And Penny, thank you.
Michael, we do have some few of questions that were submitted by members at the registration process, registration times. I'll have to read out the questions and we can provide answers.
Yeah, is there any left that we didn't cover off on during the presentation tonight?
Yes, we did not cover a couple of them, which is information about pools, gym, tennis court, and how to book. I'm happy to answer them, Michael. Yep. So Mambourin community, we do have a community app. The app can be downloaded from your respective app store, which is the Google Play Store or Apple Store, or via a web link. You can book, register to book these facilities through the app, and all the information about the pool, gym, tennis court, and the entire club is available on the app for members. And another one is that owners corporation fees, since the bill was delayed. I was probably asking why is there a reduction in the owners corporation fee because the bill was delayed? Yes, and owners corporation, there was a reduction in the owners corporation fees that were issued and passed on to members. I think around $72 odd reduction of fees was provided for the 1 month delay for the club opening.
And there's another question about, is the club able to be open for people who are vaccinated? Look, it's not. The government restrictions are clear that these types of facilities must remain closed. So the Owners Corporation doesn't have an option to open those for vaccinated people only, unfortunately. Look, I think thanks everybody for coming. Really appreciate that. We covered a lot. We've gone over time a little bit, but not by too much. So like Jonathan mentioned, the webinar, this will be recorded. We'll have that up in the app sometime tomorrow and circulate an e-bulletin so everyone's aware that it has been recorded and it's available. We know everyone can't make it. Not an ideal time. We've had a long day, living, working, surviving at home, and a webinar on your Owners Corporation may not be on the top of your list, Jono. But
That's right.
Nonetheless.
That could be as well. Exactly. And also, obviously, if there's any questions that come up after and ongoing, please just contact the team from Quantum and we will be more than happy to assist. Yes, Michael.
Yeah. Awesome. Did we cover everything, Jono? Turunga, we missed anything?
Yeah, we might introduce Chantel as well.
Indeed. I think Chantel's going to be your client manager moving forward. And I think we mentioned that at the start. Chantel's been with us for a long time and is excited to get out on site when we all can. You can reach Chantel at mambourin@quantumunited.com.au. Chantel's and Robin is her assistant manager, and the rest of the team can all access and reply through that email address as well. Or you can simply call the office as well if you need to speak to Chantel. You'll be happy to take their call, Chantel, I'm sure.
Absolutely, anytime.
Yes. All right, very good. Thanks for your attendance, everyone. And I hope you got some information that you weren't aware of from this session. We'll run them again in the future. And we may see some of you at the upcoming AGM. Thanks to my team and Penny and Ilche. Appreciate very much for coming on to share that update. That's fantastic.
Hey guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.